Buddies, so today I'm going to be talking about a sad topic. Why I call it sad is because when someone passes away, it is a very sad and unfortunate thing. So I'm going to be talking about the Kawasaki ZX 10R crash that happened in Jaipur. Is it Jaipur? Let me just check. That is correct, Jaipur. What happened is that I uploaded and scheduled a video for publishing for this morning, but I was going through my comments and I saw a comment of one of my dear subscribers, and that person requested me to do an analysis of this crash and why this person could not survive even after having very good riding gear, especially a very good helmet. I saw in the NDTV page report, I saw a photograph that this person was wearing an AGV helmet, one of the best in the world. Now, the media people have written that this person died of brain hemorrhage because the helmet could not be taken out in time. Now, I don't think that is 100% correct. So, I would like to talk about a few points here. Number one, let us understand when our time comes, that is, when it is our time to go, no matter what we are doing, even if we are wearing a bulletproof suit, we would still be gone. I mean, I sound very pessimistic, I sound negative, but that is the harsh reality of this world. That is, when the time comes, it comes, man. But anyways, keeping that aside, it doesn't mean that we don't wear the best riding gear possible. Yes, we should wear the best riding gear possible at all times. Now, having said that, try and understand one thing. Our Indian roads are no way suitable for fast riding. I do it all the time. I ride very fast all the time, but that is a risk that I am taking. We have to understand that we are taking very high risks because people can jump off dividers anytime. They could be animals, anything can happen. And the biggest difference between falling on a road and falling on a racetrack is that when you fall on a racetrack, you slide off. You don't go and hit a pole, you don't go and hit a divider, you don't go and hit a huge stone, or you don't hit there are pots which are kept on the dividers for trees and plants. You don't go and hit those pots. So when you fall on a racetrack, you are very safe unless and until a rider rides onto you from behind, which is a very rare case. So falling on the road, what happens is that even if you're wearing the best riding gear possible, something could go into your lung, something could go into your liver, harsh impacts can happen, which are very unfortunate. So what happens is that a helmet is designed to take an impact hitting the road, a flat surface. A helmet is designed to take impact when it hits a flat surface. But if you take a hammer and hit the helmet very hard, then the shock wave still gets transmitted to our skull and then there onwards to the brain. So, for example, even if this person has worn an AGV helmet and unfortunately he fell, and if he went and hit the divider, the edge of the divider of the road, it would be very sharp, edgy. That would send a very high amount of shock wave through the helmet to his brain. That could be possible. Or hitting a flower pot on the edge, that could be possible. So no matter which helmet you're wearing, it still cannot give you 100% protection. Always remember that. But I still do not believe what the media people write. The traditional media could be any news channel, could be any newspaper. They most of the time just write stories. So don't believe by what they have written that this person could not survive because the helmet could not be taken off. I don't completely go by it. There is much more detail into it which we don't know. So, and again, one more thing, please remember, it was written on NDTV page that the bystanders, the people who tried to help this person on the road, they tried to take off the double D ring and they could not take it off because they did not understand how it works. And then they took him to the hospital where doctor cut the strap off and then took the helmet off. Okay, I understand. But remember one thing. When we see a person who has crashed on the road, we are not supposed to take the helmet off. We are not supposed to take his jacket off. If he's wearing riding boots or anything, we are not supposed to take them off. And there is a very good reason for that. We are not medically trained professionals. So remember, this person has already taken a lot of impact, falling onto the road, rolling, hitting something. So he could have broken bones. He could have hit his spinal cord, backbone, his jawbone, nose, and all these places, the impact, even with the helmet on. So now, if a person who is not medically trained, if he tries to just take the helmet off, he might end up breaking the person's neck, which is already injured, or kind of moving the jaw, which is already hurt very badly. So our job is only to take this person to the hospital, but not to take his helmet off, not to take his gloves off, not to take his boots off. Now imagine if he's wearing riding boots and if you see he's bleeding from his riding boots, and if you try to take the riding boot off, which is very snug fit, you might end up breaking his ankle, which is already kind of damaged, which is already hurt. So don't do that. Also remember, when we are lifting up a person who's fallen, who's crashed, you have to do it very carefully. Most of the time, in most of the countries, they do not even lift the person up. They call the ambulance, which needs to have a stretcher, a long stretcher, and only then medically trained professionals lift the person up, put him or her onto the stretcher, and then take this person to the hospital. But in our country, because the ambulances don't respond so fast, it would be great to help a person. But remember, we at least need 4 people to lift this person up in all the places. 1 on the neck, 1 on the middle part of the back, 1 near the hip, and 1 at the knees, and another person if possible at the ankles. So we need about 5 people to lift this person up in the most even manner and make the person sleep on the back seat of a car. Then we would need a considerably big car also. So only then we are actually doing good to this person. Else we'll end up breaking more bones or ending up damaging his neck, spinal cord, or anything like that. So now with the helmet, what you can do is when you see a person crashed, don't try to take his helmet off, but just open up the visor so that the person can breathe better. Just open up the visor. That is all that you need to do. And is double D ring good or a clip? That kind of clip that you get, which you just put it on, that is better? Well, as I already mentioned, for basic commuting where you're not going over 30, 40, 50 kilometers per hour, probably the clip would be easier in case you're taking out your helmet 10 times in a day and putting it on 10 times. But for high-speed riding, a clip is not a good thing because on impact, the clip can come off because it is only put together with a spring. So the clip can come off and the helmet can go off your head. So that is the reason the double D ring is there, where it is held together by skin friction. So there are no 2 ways, there are no 2 talks to it that double D ring is the way to go. And well, another reason that we all should learn how to take off double D ring, because if we see someone who has crashed, we can at least kind of loosen it, loosen the double D ring and still keep the helmet on to the person who has crashed. So that is it, friends. This is my analysis. This is my, 2 cents, what they call, of the whole episode. It's really sad. My feelings are kind of very sad towards the family and the friends who lost a young rider. So that is it. But still, buy good helmet. Spend as much as possible on a helmet and your riding gear, friends. Thank you. Bye-bye.